Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm sharing a story sent in by a viewer named Adrian. It's a complicated one, so let's get right into it. My name is Adrian. I'm a 35-year-old doctor living in Atlanta with my wife, Amanda, and our two beautiful children, a 7-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter. For 9 years, my wife and I were a team, but something was missing. We hadn't been on a proper date, just the two of us, since the kids were born. Our lives revolved entirely around them. Amanda, who was a full-time mum, suggested we hire a permanent sitter. I was hesitant and only wanted someone for weekends, but she insisted. So, we placed an ad. Amanda handled the interviews, and after speaking with 8 candidates, one stood out. Another Amanda. She was great with kids, a fantastic cook, and family-oriented. There was just one catch. She was only available as a live-in sitter. I wasn't comfortable with that idea, so I asked my wife to run the ad for another week. But after another round of interviews, no one else even came close. I decided to meet this Amanda myself. She came over one evening after my shift. She was professional, experienced, and had a natural warmth. I could see why my wife liked her. After a long talk, we decided to take a chance. We offered her a 6-month contract, with the possibility of extending it if things worked out. We gave her the basement room for privacy, and just like that, she moved in. The first few months were incredible. The sitter, let's call her Sitter Amanda, was a lifesaver. She was better than we could have ever imagined. The kids adored her. She'd take them to the park, cook their meals, handle bath time, and read them bedtime stories. Our home life became so much smoother. With this newfound freedom, my wife decided to get a part-time job as a clerk at a local office, just a 10-minute drive away. I was fully supportive. It was great to see her pursuing something for herself again. Things were going so well that after just 1 month, her company offered her a full-time position. We talked it over, weighed the pros and cons, and agreed she should go for it. She started her new full-time role 2 weeks later and absolutely thrived. Her bosses loved her, and she was getting compliments left and right. Soon, the dinner invitations from executives started rolling in. At first, I was proud of her success. But then, the late nights became more frequent. It started with a text here and there, saying she was in a meeting and not to wait up. Then, she started coming home after midnight, sometimes as late as 2 a.m. A knot of suspicion began to form in my stomach. I wanted to trust her, but her behavior was changing. One day, I did something I never thought I would. I went to a spy store and bought a small GPS tracker. I just needed to know where she was going. The confirmation I was dreading came from a family friend who called me one afternoon. They told me they had seen Amanda at a restaurant, having what looked like a very romantic dinner with another man. My heart sank. Even with this information, I couldn't bring myself to confront her. I just didn't have the strength. So, I stayed quiet, watching and logging her movements with the GPS, gathering evidence and feeling my world crumble. A few days later, she came home with a bright smile on her face and announced, "Honey, I'm pregnant." She was 8 weeks along and ecstatic. I just stared at her, my mind racing. All I could manage to say was a quiet, "Great." We hadn't been intimate in months. How could she be pregnant? The distance between us had grown into a chasm. At the same time, I have to confess, I wasn't blameless. The long, lonely nights waiting for my wife to come home took their toll. I felt abandoned in my own marriage. During that time, Sitter Amanda was my only source of comfort. She was there, she listened, and one thing led to another. We started an affair. Now she's also pregnant, 6 weeks along. My life has become an impossible mess. My immediate priority was to keep Sitter Amanda's pregnancy a secret from my wife. I couldn't risk them both being pregnant under the same roof. I found a small apartment for her near the hospital where I work and told my wife that Sitter Amanda was leaving for personal reasons. I even suggested to my wife that maybe she could quit her job now and stay home with the kids again. She exploded at me, screaming that she wouldn't give up her career. So now, my wife is looking for a new sitter. completely unaware that the woman who just left our home is pregnant with my child. The evidence against my wife is piling up, but I haven't used it yet. I have a plan. I've spoken to a friend at the hospital. I'm going to schedule a routine ultrasound for my wife, but my real intention is to get a DNA sample from the fetus. I need to know for sure if the baby she's carrying is mine. Everything is about to come to a head, and honestly, I don't know how any of us will get through this. That's Adrian's story. It's a heavy one, and it shows how quickly a life can unravel. If you have a story you'd like to share, you can send it to me. Your identity will always be kept anonymous. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories. See you next time.